Hey everyone, it's Stephanie here. Today I have a video to share a fun trifold card that I've created that has a fun cutout edge that highlights the stamped image that I've stamped onto this piece of paper. I had a couple of questions recently when I shared this online on how I created it, so I just wanted to share the process and also share a couple more stamps and die cuts that I like to use to create a card with this type of fold. So this first card that I shared that's fully created features the Hero Arts house stamp. And I also really like this other stamp called Winter Scene from Hero Arts. Especially at Christmas time, you can make some really nice Christmas cards with this stamp. And so what I've done is I've just went ahead and did a couple of just examples showing how I stamp the card onto paper and what it looks like when I've cut it out. It's kind of rough. I didn't take a super lot of time cutting them out, so you can definitely get even more detail from this when you do it. And then I just showed my memento marker there because most of these stamps don't stretch across the full 5.5-inch width of the card, so I just used my memento black marker and just carry on the lines of the scene to make it look like it fully stamped across the whole thing. And then once you've done that, you just have to figure out where you want your scoring line to be for the bottom of the card to fold up. And when doing this, all you need to really make sure of is that when the top piece folds back down, that this bottom flap is going to completely cover it, so you don't see any of the inside of the card. So you have a little bit of variance with that. You can kind of make it a little bit taller or a little bit shorter depending on what the image is. And then you just go ahead and score that really well. And then to finish getting the folds done, you just go ahead and put that right into your scoring tool with it folded and just score the middle piece so that it's perfectly 4.25 inches. And this will provide you with a standard 4.5 by, or I'm sorry, 4.25 by 5.5 inch card. And I'm just scoring it there to get it fully creased, and then you can see it, the top folds down perfectly and then the bottom flips up over top of it. And then you can stamp your sentiment on the inside if you want, and you can also do it on the outside. It just kind of depends how you want your scene to look, if you want it to look just as a scene on the outside and only have sentiments on the inside. So for that house card that I created there, I actually just inked the folded flat piece of the card to create the sky and then just added some die cut clouds. If you want, you can actually cut out a panel and adhere it to that piece if you don't want to actually ink on the card. So now I'm just showing a couple of die cut ways to do this as well. So this first one here is called Tree Line, and it's from Impression Obsession, and I just wanted to show it on black cardstock. Just because it's really fun to do this type of card and try and make it look like a night scene. And with the black cardstock, it kind of looks like whatever the die cut piece is shadowed. And this can be created when doing die cuts versus stamping, because it's not an actual image that you need to see. And this was actually a 12-inch piece of paper, so I had to end up cutting off a little bit of that edge there. That's why it didn't fold perfectly. So and then what I like to do with these when I do the night scene type is to add a panel onto that folded flap that has inking and like a moon. And in the past I've done it for Christmas where I've done a night scene with a moon and actually stamped Santa and his reindeer going through the moon. Looks really neat when it's finished. And then, so here's another one. This is called the Pine Tree Border, and this is from Memory Box, and it's just another fun one that I wanted to show what it looks like when it's die cut out. And then this one here of the Absolutely Die from Simon Says Stamp is a lot of fun too. So I guess I didn't mention this. When I do these, I just cut my pattern paper to 5.5 inches wide, and then I leave it the standard 11 inches tall. And then I just stamp the image on the top, which I'm going to show you in a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and do the actual stamping part and show how I do that. So this last one here is also another stamp, which is the Hero Arts Row of Houses. Another fun one that is, you can have a road underneath of it. You can create like a little bit of a neighborhood type card, welcome to the neighborhood. Super fun, and like I said, it's just kind of unexpected when the recipient receives it to get this neat kind of fold where it's opening from the bottom first and then the top. And it's just kind of fun and a creative way to make all different types of scenes and whatnot with your different stamps and die cuts. So now, like I said, I'm just going to run through quickly how I actually create the card on camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the Hero Arts House stamp again, since that was the card that I originally shared. And to do this, I'm just going to use my Memento black ink, just because when I made the original card, I wanted to color it with Copic markers, and this is the ink that you need to use to do that. You can also stamp this on watercolor paper if you want to watercolor it with like New Inktense pencils, the Derwent Inktense pencils. They're really fun to play around with, and they would be great to color in an image like this. You can simply plainly watercolor it. You can just use pencil crayons. You can not color it at all if you like it just plain, whatever your preference is. So there I've just stamped it at the very top of the 11-inch by 5.5-inch piece of paper. And I'm just going to use my Memento black marker to go ahead and extend that seam line. And for this image, because it's meant to be grass or whatever it is you're going to make it, sand or whatever you're deciding it to be, there's little squiggly lines and stuff emphasizing different areas of the grass down underneath the actual seam line. So I've went ahead and just created some of those as well, just to make it look completely realistic, being it's covering a much larger space than the stamp was originally intended. So once I've got that all finished there, you can either go ahead and color it before you even cut it out, or just cut it out first, but just for the sake of saving time, because I'm not actually going to color it in the video, I just go ahead and cut the image out. I like to keep it right along the black edge so that there's no border at all, but by all means you can leave a border if that's something that you prefer. And then any intricate details that I don't necessarily feel like need to be there, I just cut off. So for example, on this card here, I don't end up leaving the chimney. I did originally, and then I ended up cutting it off because I found that every time I folded the card, that little piece kept getting bent. So I figured it was easier just to take it completely off. So now here it is completely cut out and ready for coloring. But what I recommend is definitely to do your scoring first before any coloring, so that you know when to stop your grass line as you're coloring along. And then just go ahead and add whatever embellishments you want to complete your scene. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.